William Morrow and HarperAudio present The Lost Summers of Newport, a novel by Beatriz Williams, Lauren Willig, and Karen White. Performed by Saskia Maarleveld, Brittany Pressley, and Lisa Flanagan. Chapter 1. Andy. Newport, Rhode Island, September 2019. By the time my ancient Honda Civic and I made it across the Newport Bridge over the East Passage of Narragansett Bay and past the bars and tired neighborhoods nearest the harbor, it was clear I'd traveled more than just the 33 miles separating my hometown of Cranston, Rhode Island, from the coastal resort town of Newport. As soon as I turned left on Ruggles Avenue and into the historic neighborhood of Old Newport, it was as if I'd been dropped into another world. The 3-bedroom split level where I'd grown up with my parents and sister, and where I'd lived even after my mother had decamped for parts unknown, seemed a distant memory from another life. I found myself holding my breath, as if unwilling to allow the rarefied air of this place to taint me. I'd seen it happen. I slowed as I reached Bellevue Avenue and took another left, deciding at the last minute to take a brief tour to admire the palatial summer cottages. The novelist Henry James had nicknamed the houses and called Newport itself a breeding ground for white elephants. He wasn't wrong. First impressions showed the grand scale of the sloping lawns and expansive views of both the water and the town. The monoliths of stone and marble, towering above the sea cliffs like Zeus on Mount Olympus, protected by hedges and iron fences. But with my trained eye as an architectural historian, I spotted the signs of decay, of chipped paint and sagging porticos, and sympathized with the burden of general maintenance and leaky roofs. The opulent Chateau-sur-Mer dominated a corner lot, its mishmash of architectural styles, ranging from its original Italian Renaissance to Second Empire French. Jarring to those of us who knew better, but nonetheless stunningly gorgeous to the less informed. It had been my mother's favorite of all the Newport mansions, as she'd point out during our frequent driving tours, where she'd want to live if she ever had the money. I detoured onto Narragansett to reach Ochre Point Avenue and glimpsed the famed Vanderbilt mansion, the Breakers. I was reminded of the oft-quoted F. Scott Fitzgerald, who'd once said, "The rich are different from us." Hemingway's famous reply had been, "Yes, they have more money." But even I knew it wasn't that simple. Heading back to Bellevue, I inched my way down the street, glad that Labor Day weekend and the throngs of tourists were both gone, so I was able to take my time without anyone honking behind me. I had been told that the driveway I was looking for would be hard to find, tucked between Marble House and Rosecliff, toward a less significant house perched near a small curve of coast with the improbable name of Sheep Point Cove. I glanced down at the paper in my lap, the directions scrawled in my nearly indecipherable handwriting from an earlier phone call with my mentor and producer of Makeover Mansion, Mark Albertson. I frowned at the irony of how my handwriting matched his slurred words, recalling the number of times I'd had to ask him to repeat himself as I'd scribbled my notes. I drove past the driveway twice. Judging from the sparse peppering of small, dark stones strewn over a mostly dirt drive, it was unsurprising that I'd missed it. I made the turn, unsure of what I would find on the other side of the open gates, now rusted in place and adorned with overgrown hedges and vines that brushed the roof and sides of my car as I passed through. The sight of work vans and the film crew milling around, unloading equipment and unraveling cords, told me I was in the right place.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?